Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to show you an overview of Accolyst ERP. You can see the login screen. You can use the default credential in order to log in. Here you can see the dashboard. So here we can see accounting and inventory and administration. In order to start, we can use administration, masters, company settings. Here you can select your country in order to reflect the currency, and all other settings or details you can fill here. Number of decimals, number of quantity, VAT number, if any. You can change the company name and logo. Anytime you can update later. The next one is the user creation. You can create unlimited user in Accolyst ERP. For example, you can type your employee name, description, employee type, and user role. And all other things you can fill if you want to, including image of this employee. Once you create employee, you can go to login user where you can give him the username and password. You can simply select user role, employee name, and you can type the username and password here. So if you have a supervisor privilege, you can enable supervisor as well. So next thing is you can give menu access right for this employee based on his activity. So you can enable whatever you need. For example, I just enable sales and return. So when you try to log in with his credential, for example, you can see what we are giving. Only sales and sales return without the dashboard, without report. So you can customize his entire screen. Let me log in back with admin. And finally, to start, you have to change the financial period based on your desired of starting date and ending date. So as you can see here, you can edit the existing, you can increase, you can decrease, you can increase, the ending date you can increase to any extension. There is no limit. Once you edit, you can click generate month in order to list it here. Okay. Or you can simply start with the 1 year, that 1 year uh, financial period. So that is easy. Or you can create, for example, 24. Now you can create 25, 26 separate. How you can use, you can log out and log in order to open the previous financial periods. It will be listed here. You can also give more privilege to employee. Here you can see the settings, user settings, including the dashboard view and all. So you can enable whatever you need. You can block, you can lock, depot editing, rate editing, etc. Even you can fix the discount limit for special discount, additional discount, multi-rate, and even the language you can select based on the user. Moving on, we have administration settings, module settings. So you can pick your modules based on customer requirement. And here we can see the general settings where you can enable all the basic settings for accounting inventory. Example, enable unit, multi-rate. You can enable unit if you want to, multi-rate, multi-currency, VAT, whatever you need, you can search here, including discount and all. Okay, sales order, purchase order, everything you can enable. Revise allocation. So all the basic settings you can enable by searching, or you can scroll down. So these are the global settings, which means when you enable one setting, it will be applied to all other connected system with the server. So we have decimal settings here, variable settings where we can make the pop-up of credit limit, sales rate less than purchase rate, negative stock, deal limit, etc. Display where you can change the user fields and system fields based on the transaction or product. Others where you can change decimal in reports, calculation methods, and reminders, SMS, WhatsApp, menu, shortcuts, uniqueness of your ledgers, etc. So these are the global settings we have. In local settings, here you can select your default settings based on the user. And finally, the color changing option. And also you can add email template other than Gmail if you can change the host and port. Counting inventory have masters, transaction, checklist, and report. So first one is master. You can create multiple masters in order to do the transaction like customers, supplier, bank, chart of account, product and group, branch, slab, etc. So let's open party. You can create your customer here. Let's say so so here you can use any language. You can change your keyboard language, to fill in uh, the same in different languages. It is possible. You can fill the details, shipping details, transaction details like due days, day limit, credit limit, type of the customer, discount, VAT, etc. You can add, including image of your customer. So this is how you can create a debtor or a customer. Now let's try to create a supplier. Here you can create a supplier. Same structure here. Simply you can type your supplier name. Let's say apply to. You can fill the details just like that. The mandatory field is only code, name, group, and account. You can just type the name and the account will be automatic. Just like that, you can create your bank account if you want to do the transaction in card, check, DD, e-wallet, etc. Let's say bank 2. You can enable merchant account, you can fill the details and you can save it. So this is how you can create the masters of party, supply, and bank. So whatever comes other than these three, you can create it under chart of account. So by default, when you install the software, you will get the basic accounts and groups, their ledgers, etc. If you want to create new ledger under it, you can just create, for example, so this is a normal expense, transportation expense. I want to put it under, for example, let's say indirect expense and using other expense. So you can select other expense here. The groups will be here. You can see it. So this is how you can create custom ledgers. Any groups you can create. If you want to create groups under any main group, it is also possible. You can just type the group name and select the parent group here. So like this, you can create your custom ledgers, expenses, assets, liabilities, income, any kind. Product group, here you can create your products, different products. Let's say one, you can create under master, that's the main group. And if you want to create something under it, let's say subgroup one, you can either select master if you want it as a main group, or if it is subgroup, you can select the main group here. So it will list like that. You can also add image if you want to. Now let's open the product creation window. This is the product creation window. Code is there. You can change the code based on your user. Here you can use this as barcode. Here we have international barcode which hold 16, 13 digit code. Here you can type the product. Let's say product one. Description, you can change the keyboard language. You can add any language. By default, we have English to Arabic, so automatically convert based on the Google translation. Here you can select the group. Let's say subgroup. We already created group and subgroup here. Okay. Let's change product 2. Product 1 is already there. So here you can use all these things like status, non-stock item, range, scale, etc. Stock levels can be set. Purchase rate. Let me use a default purchase rate. If I want to fix a sales rate like this, you can type manually, or you can just use percentage, for example, 3% upon the purchase rate automatically calculates. And then MRP you can change minimum sales rate if you don't want to sell this product below a certain amount for your employee, then you can fix it. For example, let's say 12. This is the final price. No one can sell beyond this. Now you can use units. Units can be added, like for example, this product have pieces as base unit. So the base unit rate we gave here. Now if you want to add more unit like box pieces, or sorry, or the bigger units, Saturn, whatever it is, you can just type it here and you can mention number of pieces available in a box. Let's say 20. So software automatically converts, multiply with this the rate of the piece, and it calculates purchase rate and sales rate. Of course, you can edit the rate if you want to. You can add different barcode for this unit. It is also possible. Like that, you can add 4 different units. You can mention default units in chase, in sale, report, etc. User fields, you can add multiple user fields, text fields, custom fields where you can use for any kind of the product, like color or more specification on the product. It will be displayed in your invoice and also the time of sales invoice. Of course, you can add image as well. Now, if you have multiple branches, you can use branch management system. You can enable branch management system. For example, branch management system. So if you're using in a cloud to host the software, you can easily access anywhere so that you can create your branches, different branches. For example, I already have main branch. If I have local branches, let's say branch 1, remote location, maybe you can select it as a local branch under main branch. You can simply save it. So you can see under main branch, I have branch 1. And also I need to create a depot for my branch. Let's say depot 1 under depot, and you can select your local branch. So you can transfer stock internally by using the depots. So like this, you can create different branches, and of course you can use which branch you need to log in at the time of. So here you can see multi-branch, branch 1, etc. So we will give privilege for the employee who can log in which branch and all. So if someone log in with main branch, like management side, they can see all consolidated data, reports, everything, or split. It is possible. That's branch system. And slab is here we can create VAT percentages. For that, you have to create VAT. If you have VAT or tax, you can just enable VAT here. So for VAT, you can enable VAT, basic. Now you can create your slab percentages. For example, I need to use manual code, for example, 01. Let's say VAT 5 percentage. Okay. You can create different percentages, no problem. You can select your financial period. Automatically, it will pick. Now here you can give the actual value. If it is inclusive, you can select, you can change the calculation base. So default, it's taxable amount. So I'm saving it. So this is how you can create your slab. If you have different slab in your country, you can create just like that. Now, if you want to set it for your product, it's easy. At the time of product creation, you can simply use slab to select percentage. So in my case, I already created a few. Yeah, just edit slab. I can select the VAT percentage for both purchase and sale. So this you can update. For each product, you have to select slab in order to reflect VAT at the time of transaction. So that's product creation and VAT. Now move on to the transaction side. We have transaction vouchers, journal, purchase, sales, inventory, etc. So let's start with purchase invoice. Here you can see purchase invoice. If you want something like purchase order, purchase estimation, and material receipt, then you can enable it from the settings, module settings. In my case, I'm enabling order, purchase order. I can enable purchase estimation as well. You can just type it here, or material receipt. So whichever you need, you can enable it here. Let's try now. As you can see now, it's purchase order, purchase invoice, material receipt, and it's written. Let's start with purchase order. Simply, you can select your supplier. This voucher number you can change, the date, remark, all these things. You can select if you have multiple depot or branch wise, you can select. Now here you can type your product, scan your product. You can see the code, name, stock, rate, etc. You can select the product, the quantity, the rate. For example, I'm fixing order for let's say 150 quantity of this particular product. Let's say product two, I want 300. I can see VAT and all. I'm just saving it. I can fill all the detail. Here we have miscellaneous. You can attach any document. You can type all these user fields if you want to, like remark, and you can save it. So that's purchase order. Now, if you want to call this purchase order into purchase invoice or material receipt, it is possible. So let's start with material receipt first. Just open material receipt. You can select your supplier name. Here you can either call from purchase and order. In my case, it's order. Let's apply to maybe be the cash account I selected. Yes. So cash account you can select here or whichever supplier you selected, either cash or supplier, you can select it. Click order, you can see pending order here. You can simply call, you can select the product or you can select all. Even you can customize the quantity. Out of 150, I'm just receiving 100. Okay. You can call it, you can see the edited quantity here. You can save. It will affect the inventory without count. So it is possible you can just simply save and later you can call the same into purchase invoice for the final bill. Case account, section 3, material receipt, you can select all and you can just convert it. This time the inventory is already affected, so it won't affect in this purchase invoice, only the account will affect. So here you can add more details if you want to. You can use remarks, reference bill, even you can make the payment from this time itself. You can just select the mode, etc., and you can just make the payment. For example, let's say it's e-wallet. I can select the bank amount. Let's say 60 or 50. So this is the balance here. You can just make the payment. It is possible. Moving on to the sales part. Here you can see sale invoice, sales order, performer, etc. So let's just like a purchase invoice, you can make a sales order, you can call into sale invoice or delivery note, depending upon your requirement. Select the product, the quantity, the rate if you want to. Let's say 20. So like this, you can use normal sales order. You can add more product and you can call it to sales invoice or delivery note. If you want a delivery note, then you can enable delivery note from this. Simply you can add, you can go with delivery note. Okay. This is not mandatory to follow the step like order, delivery note, something like that. You can go with any. Like if you want delivery note directly call to sale invoice, it is possible. Or you can start with the delivery sale invoice itself. No problem. So let's start with the sale invoice. You can select your customer, the depot. Now here you can select the product. Let's say 100. VAT will be there. You can even make the payment. These are the payment. We can select maybe partial cash. Let's say 100 cash and online banking. Let's say 110 or let's say 100. So scan is balance. We can collect it later. So here you can see miscellaneous. You can add more informations, all the text fields, attachments, 3 different attachment in each transaction. So you can save this. So we don't need any order or delivery note. Then you can start with the invoice itself. If you have any return for both purchase and sale, this is a sales return. You can select the customer. You can click on sale and you can just select. You can edit the quantity and you can call it to the return. So opposite entry will be passed, both inventory and account. So these are the features we have. Now we have POS. If you want a simplified billing, you can use either keyboard or you can scan the product here with the barcode. or else you can use touch screen or to add. So like this, you can add, you can collect the amount, you can simply click the cash, you can collect it. You have cash drawer where you scale, payment option, hold, retrieve, price checker, POS, report, even session management system is already available, POS. Moving on, we have vouchers where we can receive advance, cash, bank reconciliation, etc. Let's say cash receipt. Let's do a quick receipt. So if you want to add a cashier, it's simply you can add your cashier here. Let's say cashier one. It is mandatory, so you have to create your employee so that software will track who made the payment here. Let's select the customer. Let's say customer one. You can click on allocation button here in order to see all the pending invoice. So few of them are already paid like partial. So you can make the payment like if you want to receive entire amount, you can enable it or select it, or you can edit it, no problem. So this is a manual selection. Or if you want to allocate a certain amount, let's say 10,000, and you can allocate it, what will happen? It will allocate like first in, first out. Okay, it will allocate the first bill, the balance for the second, etc. So like this, you can select bill wise, so the bill wise balance report will be reflected. So that's cash receipt. The same you can use for cash payment. We have advance allocation. You can allocate advance if you want to. We have bank receipt and payment. For example, let's say bank receipt. So instead of simply selecting the cash account, you can select the bank. You can select the customer. As it is bank, you have to use instrument type. It is mandatory, as you can see, different instrument type. For example, check, you can give check number, the check date, like post dated check, you can select post date. In my example, I'm selecting the current date so that you can see the demo. So check instrument status. If it is submitted already, you can select, or cleared, you can select. If it is a post dated check, you can select none here. And the normal scenario, you can select the first of payment. You can say this is the bank receipt. You can see bank payment, the same structure. And finally, you can use bank reconciliation. So you can show your transaction. It's a future transaction, maybe. Bank one, select all. You can see all these details. So this check is on its date. Then you can just use cleared, submitted, bounce based on your requirement. It is possible to do the bank reconciliation here. Now we have contra voucher. You can do branch to branch or cash to cash, bank to cash transaction. You can select it and you can just make a payment by selecting this cashier. So it is possible to select multiple branch transaction using contra voucher. Now we have journal entry. You can do normal opening balance, journal entries. You can select, for example, let's say cash account. I'm just adding a capital. You can create different capital account if you want to by using chart of account, or simply you can click add account here in order to open the chart of account. Here you can create, you can just add like this. So simply you can use journal entry and it will reflect in reports. We have debit note and credit note as well. Finally, the inventory side, we have inventory transaction like opening stock, excess, shortage, like if you want to custom your physical stock. You can use excess in order to increase from the software. You can decrease it based on the physical stock. We have damage option. You can do damages for the product, maybe return damage and all you can use. Simply, you can just open, select your product, and you can mention the quantity and the cost of the product. You can save, it will be a loss for you. So like this, you can update your damage of any kind of inventory. Stock transfer and receipt available. If you want to transfer from one depot to another, like one branch to another, you can select it and you can select the product if you want to transfer. That's it. The quantity is the cost. Save it. Now, the other branch, they can log in their username with their username and password. They can use stock receipt. So they can select the depot here. You can click stock transfer. They can see all the pending transfers. So they can receive. It will increase their stock in their inventory. So you can use branch to branch or depot to depot stock transfers by using this. Bundling option is available, like we can use production, small production. If you want to make a product, for example, this one, like let's say 100 quantity, you can consume the local products like product two, like let's say 50 quantity. If you have more, you can add. So this is how you can create a bundle, instant bundle of production, let's say. Material issue for internal purpose and its return. Stock adjustment. If you want to use both excess and shortage in a single screen, this is it. So you can select your product group. You can see all the products available. You can customize, for example, the actual stock and physical stock. Based on the physical stock available in your inventory, you can update. For example, I'm updating it as 100, 500. So here on this particular date, my particular product stock will be 500 instead of 4,000, sorry, 496. So this is how you can use stock adjustment, both excess and shortage in one screen for easy. So these are the transactions we have, and we have reports, final accounts, report, daybook, cash book, bank book, etc. Let's say a cash book. You can filter based on branch, cash account, etc. All. Let's say monthly. You can select month, or you can select the period as well. So you can see all the receipt and payment here, the balance as well. Like this, you can check other reports. We have, you can check sale invoice. You can filter based on this detail, consolidated, etc. You can select the month and you can preview it. It also have drill down option. Double click and you can see the origin. Here you can send by email. You can send any report by email. You can type the email ID here, and the center email ID is on your company settings. You can add email and password. And also you can export into Excel, PDF, or Word. And yes, you can customize any report. You can simply click the design button in order to open the report builder, and you can customize your own report. Like you can move, you can delete any column, you can add more graphics, more fields. For example, yeah, party balance here. Simply you can customize your report. We also have other reports like trial balance, balance sheet, P&L, statement of account, vouchers, purchase related, sales, inventory related report. Let's say inventory stock list. You can select all. You can preview your entire stock in one screen. You can see the units, rates, group, etc. Moving on, we can use other reports like returns, aging report, returns, tax report. We also have other reports like bill wise balance report, profit report, daily summary report, cash flow, fund flow, audit log, etc. Let's take the daily summary report. Here you can just select the summary report. Very helpful for the management. You can see everything in one screen. All cash in, cash out, bank opening, closing, etc. Cash credit, whatever we collected, we can see here. Other than that, we have administration tools where you can take backup and restore as it is a desktop application. We have apply rate, discount schemes, invoice designer where you can design your invoices, print format. Simply you can select your invoice, you can set the format and go to the file location of the software. For example, you can go to the file location and you can use in a print format, mass format. Here you can select your invoice or any transaction. You can set the format. You can select the printer here. If you want to set typewise printed, then you can enable typewise. You can select push report as well. It is also possible. So like this, you can set the format and you can preview it. So let's preview it. Before that, let me enable print preview. Now let's take preview. I'm choosing my previous invoice and I can save it. Sorry, print it. Sample invoice, you can see. You can modify to any size, A4, A5. 3 inch, 4 inch, any kind. It is possible. So this is a default format. We also have barcode designer where you can design your barcode. For example, you can open the designer and you can fix your design. You can add more information of your product name, the rate, whatever you need, you can just bind it here and you can simply generate. You can select the printer and all the sticker size and all, you can print it. Or you can simply use external designer or crystal report as well. We also have Excel import. If you want to import master data, only master data we can import, including opening stock and opening balance. So you can import part supplier, party, product, group, product, etc. Simply you can select the product, and if you have a template, you can simply select it. Let's say product, get field. You can see all from the software side, and here you can select each column from Excel. So you can select whatever you need and you can import. So all these have different templates. These are the templates. You can create Excel based on this side and you can just import it. We have graphs, document attachment, all these things you can use based on the privilege. Only admin can handle, or whoever having this administration privilege, they can use all these things. Also, we can change our interface language into these. For example, if we want to make everything in Arabic, yeah, Arabic, and interface language will change into Arabic. All the menus, submenu, everything. And also, if you want to type in Arabic or any language, it is easy. You can add your keyboard language and you can just type it anywhere. It is possible. Changing back to English is easy. Just select it and read out. So that's it for the overview. Thank you for watching.